Hello friends, how are you all? I hope you all are fine and attending your classes regularly and making notes regularly. So friends, this is our seventh lecture of your fifth semester. In last lecture we have seen that there are different types of temperature transducers, strain gauge, etc. In this lecture we are going to learn about photoelectric transducers. So let's start. There are certain types of photoelectric transducers. There are mainly three types, and those are photoemissive device, photovoltaic devices, and photoconductive cells or photocells. So let's learn about these in detail. So first one is photoemissive device or phototubes. So figure of phototube is given over here. There are mainly two types of photoemissive devices. First one is photoemissive cell and second one is photomultiplier cell. Here the photoemissive cell figure is given here. So photoemissive cell is also called phototube, or photoemissive cells are the oldest way of turning light into electricity. So in the construction you can say that in glass there is a glass vacuum tube and inside that there is a large metallic plate that served as negative plate, and there is one smaller terminal. This can work as the positive charged plate. That positive charge plate or that positive terminal work as a rod. Now this negative terminal is light sensitive material. Whenever you incident light over it, it starts releasing electrons. Clear? So whatever material just release electrons whenever you incident light on it, it called light sensitive material. So when the light photons falls on it, they force electrons to eject, and these ejected electrons will be attracted by this positive plate, and because of that, suppose this one is negative plate. Whenever light will be impacted over here, because of this light photons, electron will be forced to eject from there. Here there will be a positive terminal. Whatever electron ejected from these will be attracted by this positive terminal, and because of that there will be a current flow. In this manner you can say that electricity can be generated. So second is photomultiplier tube. What happens in photomultiplier tube? In photomultiplier tube there is slightly different construction, and here there are photoemissive cells. Now whatever arrangement you can see here, there are some plates here, like that. When photons are incident over here, because of that photon, electron will be ejected. This ejected electron will be attracted over here. Now here you can see that the voltage here is 0, voltage here is 100, 200, and continuously increasing voltage is given. So this can work as negative, this can work as positive, and electron will be attracted by this plate. Now when electron will be attracted by this plate and this electron is in motion, it will be collide with another electrons, and two electrons or more electrons will be emitted. And like this, continuously multiplication of electron will occur. This type of mechanism is called photomultiplier tube. This is ultra high sensitive, and because of that it is used for measurement of radiation, and it is also used in scintillators. The third one is photovoltaic devices. So what photovoltaic devices does? Photovoltaic device does the simple work, and that is the conversion of light energy into electric energy. Whatever light energy impacted over the photovoltaic device, it will convert in the electric energy by means of potential difference. Whatever potential difference created, that is proportional to the intensity of light. So there are mainly two types of photovoltaic devices. First one is photovoltaic cell and second one is solar cells. So in photovoltaic cells there is a semiconductor material such as selenium, silicon or germanium, which is bonded on the metal plates. And in solar cell, you all have seen solar cells. It is made of silicon or germanium, and it is simple PN junction diode without any biasing. So here this one is photovoltaic cells and this one is solar cell. You all have seen this type of cells on the rooftop of your buildings. So photoconductive cells or photocells. Now when PN junction diode is used without any type of biasing, then it is called photovoltaic devices, and when it is used with reverse biasing, then it is called as photoconductive device or simple photodiode. Yes, it is also called a photoresistor device too, right? It is based on the resistance of certain semiconductor materials decreases when you expose to radiation. Okay, I would like to explain this with the help of, let me erase this one first. So I would like to explain this one with the help of this temperature coefficient first. Whenever, suppose this is the material, semiconductor material, and I am exposing these with the radiation. Now what happened when I am exposing it with radiation? This surface will started heating. Temperature of these will increase. Okay, temperature increases, what happened? This semiconductor material always has alpha negative, and because of that, whenever you increase the temperature, resistance decreases. So you can say that resistance decreases when they expose to radiation. In other words, such materials have high dark resistance and low irradiated resistance. What it means? It means that whenever there is no impact of light, dark resistance, high dark resistance, it means if there is no impact of light, then because of negative temperature coefficient, temperature is lower because there is no light, and because of that resistance will be high. But whenever irradiation, sun's radiation is called irradiation. So whenever you impact the irradiation of suns on this PN junction, which is in reverse biased, then what happen? Its temperature will be increased, and because of that, I have told you, resistance will be decreased. So you can say that whenever temperature increases, resistance decreases, and because of resistance decreases, the electrons can move freely and it starts conducting material. So whenever electron moves, you get electrical voltage. So here I can tell you that this type of materials, whenever exposed to light rays, start emitting electrons, and we can get flow of current. Okay, so here our topic is going to be over. In next lecture we will see the next topic and the last lecture of our chapter transducers. Thank you so much.